It's written in an article that Sam had considered returning to gospel completely in the early 60s, but at a Soul Stir's anniversary in Chicago, the church put on its hardest and most unforgiving face. All the past group members were in attendance at the program, and old Pop Harris himself was the MC. When the Soul Stir's were on stage, they called Sam up. Somehow, when Sam hit the stage, the crowd went dead and stayed dead until Jimmy Outler and Paul Foster started singing. People were hollering out, "Get that blues singer down, this is a Christian program," and it really pierced my heart and showed me how he was rejected by the home people. He walked off the stage in tears. He was hurt very bad. These were the words of Pop Harris. How accurate is this story?
That is untrue as far as I know. I don't remember that happening at all.
Was there a reunion in Chicago?
They had published that they were going to make a picture out in Hollywood. And in fact, I had letters from the man himself asking me to be in this making of the picture. But at that time, I had the group that I have now, and they would not accept the group that I have now. They only wanted me to be with the old group. And I said, think it over. The two groups together could do a real unique thing by linking it together from the time Sam left.
Sure.
And the group that I have now, linking it together from there on up until today, it would be nice. But they wouldn't go for that. But they offered to pay me to leave my fellows and be with them. And I turned it down, so it didn't ever come off. They did something, but it didn't go. And I don't think they made the picture, but they had somebody standing in my place. They came to Chicago with it, but I was sick at the time.
So there was no program where all the old Soul Stir's were standing on stage and Sam came up?
No, that didn't happen.
December 10th, 1964. Newscasters around the country broadcast the news. Singer Sam Cooke was gunned down in an L.A. motel. Where were you at when it happened?
We was in Atlanta, Georgia, on our way to Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. We was coming through Atlanta. We were traveling in a camper at that time, and it caught a fire and burned up in Atlanta, Georgia, downtown in Atlanta. And our promoter there had rented a car for us to make our trip in from Atlanta on to Rocky Mountain. Excuse me. So we went and picked the car up. I had called Sam and talked with him the night before in Los Angeles, well, in Hollywood, where he lived at his home. I had left word there for him to call me, but he didn't get that word. I spoke with Mr. Alexander and told him what had happened, and I wanted to speak to Brother Cooke. So, in turns, he never returned my call. So the next day, I got in touch with Mr. Henry Nash, who was our promoter in Atlanta. And I told him what had happened. He invited me over to his home, and to his office, rather. When I went to his office, Sam doesn't get through, and you have this appointment tomorrow night. Say, you all work with me, and you've been a nice fellow. We've done business before. He said, I'll take it on myself, and you can pay me later. And rent a car and get out, and then make the rest of my programs before we were to cut off for Christmas. He said, let's go this evening and rent the car and have it stand by just in case. And you can leave in the morning and you go on down and make your programs, and later on we can work things out. I thanked him for it, so we went on down. We did that. And sure enough, the call never came in from him, and I never received the amount of money that I had asked him for to carry us over and get us home. So we made it with the rental car. Now, on our way out of Atlanta that next morning, I wasn't driving, but I was in the front seat. And this man, Croon, was with us. He's a brother to the other Croon boys. Leroy turned the radio on. And a few seconds after he turned the radio on, the news came on. Every 15 minutes, you'd come on early in the morning. And they flashed this news about teenage idol, rock and roll singer Sam Cooke was shot and killed this morning in a downtown motel. So none of us said anything. We were stunned to hear this news. I knew something had happened because he didn't come back to me on the phone. No one said a word. We rode about 5 or 6 more miles, and I spoke and said, "Did you guys hear what that man said on the radio?" They all spoke and said, "Yeah." Well, about that time, the news came on again with the same statement. Well, our eyes got full, and some of them run over and whatnot. We kept driving, and we went on into Rocky Mountain. We met the Swanee Quintet and the Swan Silvertone singers there. And first somebody came to our car and said, "Man, had y'all heard the news?" I said, "Yeah, we've been listening to it all day." He said, "That's a shame." So we all was very saddened about that. And that's where we got the news and how we heard it and whatnot. I was really hurt because Sam was a nice fellow. I figured something had happened maybe between he and his wife or somebody else, and he went off.
There's often been speculation that a lot of unanswered questions. Why
Yes.
was the car motor running?
Yeah.
Why did it happen that way?
We finally found out some other details later on. I wouldn't